So Power Book Go Season 3 Episode 4, The Land of Opportunity has just ended. And you guys know how we do these videos. We go straight into the spoilers. So leave a like, comment, subscribe, and come back after you finish the episode. We dive right into it. So we do this video character by character now, and I'd like to dive into who I think is the MVP of each and every episode. And if the last two episodes was Kane, this episode was definitely Monet. So we had two big moments with Monet in this episode that basically made the whole episode. It was the two biggest things that happened with any character. The first being the killing of Detective Whitman. So in the trailers leading up to this episode, we saw Diana talking to Detective Whitman. Turns out Monet got her to do this, to lure him to their house, acting like he break in. But Diana thought they were just gonna say he broke in, send him to jail. But no, Monet wanted him taken out completely, and she shot him dead in cold blood, just right in front of Diana and everything. She wanted Detective Whitman off her back, and that's what happened. So that was probably one of the biggest moments of the episode. But the biggest moment also with Monet is, while doing this with Detective Whitman, while luring him to their house to break in, she got McClane to get someone to break into Detective Whitman's house to see what information she had on Monet and her family. Turns out there was a partial print that shows Lorenzo could have been there at the time of Zeke's murder. So now she has reason and caution to believe that Lorenzo had something to do with Zeke's murder. And I also want to say, basically with Detective Whitman dead, and now with the Lorenzo information, I'm 1 out of 3 right now for deaths this season. I said Whitman, I said Saxe, and I said Lorenzo, and I'm looking closer to 2 out of 3 with her finding out this information. We saw the scene in the trailers before the new season started of her looking distrusting in Lorenzo, and we got that scene in this episode where they hug each other, but she looks like she just doesn't believe him or trust him anymore. I already mentioned this multiple times, but we saw a funeral scene that people thought it was Zeke's prior to the season coming out, but now we know it's Lorenzo's. We see Kane and Drew holding the caskets. We see Drew rocking Lorenzo's Jesus piece, so we know Lorenzo's end is coming by the end of the season, so Monet is definitely gonna find out. But that was easily the two biggest moments of this episode, and Monet was definitely the MVP, even with her attitude 24/7 and all. But on to the other characters. Jumping into Brayden. So their connect, Noma needed them to move all Mecca's weight and everything he did for them. So Mecca also was using and moving guns. So now the gang has to move guns as well. And the buyer they found were said to be racist. So they got Brayden to go and sell the guns for them. Now this created a huge problem because Blanca Rodriguez, who's working with the police, we'll get into the police section later, she has another criminal informant who bought the drugs for them. And now he has pictures of Brayden and also pictures of Lorenzo. So she's going to be able to tie that back to the whole group for the RICO case that they're building against Tariq and Monet. So Brayden didn't do much this episode, but that definitely was a big key piece of information that I might have to make a whole new video about, talking about all the evidence that's piled against them in this RICO case so far. Kane and Efiie will do them both together because the main plot point of this episode, Kane wanted Efiie to tell Tariq what she did to Lauren, but she couldn't go through with it. She sees Tariq as her ride or die. He does everything for her. He even told her that he's willing to leave the drug game with her, move to California, and they get out this for good. And she fell in love with that idea and thought, so she couldn't go through with telling Tariq, and she told Kane, can he please not say anything at all? And Kane says he got her, and he actually looked like he meant it, and he won't go behind her back and tell Freak anything. So she's still hiding that secret for him. We also talked about how we seen in trailers already that Tariq is gonna confront her about that sooner or later, and they pull weapons out on one another. So interested to see how that continues to play out. But yes, Efiie is still lying. Kane figured out it was her that got rid of Lauren. It wasn't Brayden. And now her, Kane, and Brayden are all keeping this secret from Tariq. And none of them know Lauren is even alive. But they all think Efiie killed her, and they're hiding it from Tariq basically. We also already seen in the trailer how Tariq will react towards Brayden when he finds out. We see them getting a scuffle or fight when he finds out about Brayden. We see the video about when he finds out about Efiie. I just showed where they pull out the gun, he questioned her, etc. But what's he gonna do with Kane? Because in the beginning, it was Kane who set up Brayden or wanted Brayden to kill her in the first place after Efiie told him that Lauren had information on all of them. He set it up and set it into motion, and now he is also hiding that Efiie and Brayden did it. So what would Tariq do to Kane? Because if he can't forgive Efiie or Brayden, who's way closer to Kane, then how will him and Kane's relationship change for better or for worse? Jumping into the law enforcement side of things, Jenny has now shown Blanca and Saxe that they're all working together with one another as she continues to hide that Lauren is alive from them and everyone else. Saxe also showed her the picture from the prior episode of Monet, Tariq, and McLean all meeting in his office, basically showing they're all in this together, conspiring with one another. He showed her that picture, gave her a little bit more evidence and more reason to take all of them down. We also get a very important moment in this episode where we see Saxe, how he did in episode 2, I believe, where he took a picture of the number McLean kept calling in his desk and found out it was Monet. He took a picture of Jenny's phone that it seems to be Lauren who's continuously calling her. So I'm sure he's gonna follow up on this and see that Lauren is alive as well. And I can't wait to see how that plays out as well. But I also mentioned in the earlier section with Brayden, Blanca has another criminal informant who took a picture of him and he didn't die. Kane and them didn't finish him in the shootout. So he's in the hospital. He has a picture of Brayden and Lorenzo. So that's going to tie into their Rico even more. Jenny also went to visit Lauren in this episode and got a bit of information about the roof at Stansfield where they used to hide the drugs. She talked about how she brought Tariq up there, then she seen Diana up there, etc. So Jenny is looking closer at the roof. She might find the drug hiding spot, the cameras, etc. So that's something to look forward to see how that plays out as well. But for sure, the law enforcement were in this bag this episode. They're starting to connect some dots, starting to gather actually incriminating evidence that could play a big part later. And I'm sure by the end of the season, someone is going down. But honestly, with the death of Lorenzo, I think the group can find a way to pit it all on him by the end of the season so no one else has to go down for the situation. So I'm interested to see how the gang squeaks their way out of this one because everything seems to be piling up and fast. So overall, this episode was pretty good, or more moments and things happened, but this was setting up some things nicely. I'm pretty sure Kane and Efiie, their dynamics about to change switch. I'm interested to see how that plays out with the whole Lauren situation and how Brayden, his lies start to pile up, who his first body gonna be. But that's it for this video. As usual, leave a like, comment, subscribe. And I drop power review for every episode every Friday, and I'm gonna start doing a video on potential plot points, what could happen, future storyline, character deep dives, like every other Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that. But if you're interested in other content, other videos, I have plenty on different type of shows, movies, characters from popular shows, teen dramas, etc. So you could go check that out or be on the lookout for those videos on Tuesday. But once again, that's it for this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.